it's me. What? I know, it's late. Look, I was on my way over, and I was trying to get over too quickly, and I wasn't thinking, and I was reckless. I'm sorry. I got into an accident.
Hey, it's good to see you. I'm glad you could make it. Oh, nice pajamas. Oh, hey, what do you... Stop. Look, I know... you don't have to hit me. Okay, I'm sorry. I am. Stop. I know. I was stupid. I know. I promised. I know I wouldn't speed and drive so recklessly. You were right. I should have listened. I know you told me 1,000 times. Huh? Oh, baby. Oh, sweetheart, I didn't mean to make you cry. I know. I know I messed up. You have every right to be angry with me. It's only fair. You know I never wanted this. Huh? Oh, yeah. I feel okay. Well, this is what happened, okay? It's so dumb. But I was on my way home and I was thinking about you and how upset you've been lately. I wanted to cheer you up. I was about to pick up your favorite ice cream from the store. Yeah, the really expensive ones in those tiny containers. Yeah, I know they're pricey and I know you can't afford to pick them up whenever you want. So I just wanted to surprise you, just to cheer you up a little. However, this idea came to me at the last minute, and I had to hurry if I wanted to make it to the store on time. And I was hungry too, okay? So, an empty stomach coupled with an ice cream shop time constraint only added to my recklessness. And I sort of accidentally ran a red light. Yeah. Well, I think you can imagine the rest. No, no. Don't blame yourself. Please. Huh? Oh, yeah. My ride's in pretty bad shape. You know something? Surprisingly, I didn't feel much fear as it was happening. I actually felt weirdly calmer than I would have expected. Time definitely slowed down for sure. And I knew what was going on, but I really couldn't believe it. I knew I was hurt, but I didn't feel any pain. I'm pretty sure I was in some amount of shock. Someone called an ambulance, of course, and the paramedics pulled me out of the car. And as soon as I turned back to see the wreckage, that's when it really hit me the most. I've never seen steel twist in such a fashion. And to think, my God, I've never felt more grateful. Things could have been so much worse, but I'm okay. At some point, I fainted and woke up here. Huh? Oh, no, it doesn't hurt too bad. The nurse told me it was just a minor concussion and some bruises, but I should be okay. I spoke to the nurse and she actually said it was okay for you to spend the night. Would you like to? Thank you, but you don't have to. I'll be all right. And oh, well, if you insist, just thanks so much for coming. The nurse put me on a lot of painkillers and medication, but no medical professional could really know that that what would really take the pain away from me the most is you. Your presence is the best medicine I could ever ask for in a time like now. It was cold and empty without you here. I'll make some room. Lay down on the bed with me. Ah, ouch. Yeah, I'm okay. Just a little sore. Uh, Here, come here. Lay close to me. Yeah, with your head against my chest. Just like that. Uh, Comfortable? Good. Yeah, your body is so warm. Uh, you want to know something about you? You, you have this effect on me. Yeah, I realized this long ago, closer to when we first met. You know me as someone who's, you know, been through some stuff and has acquired a collection of emotional wounds over my life. And I've always believed that I would be burdened to carry this hurt for eternity. This hurt that always pushed me towards recklessness so I could avoid certain feelings. But after spending so much time with you, I've noticed a lot of the pain and the hurt that I've carried. A lot of it started to feel, well, it feels as if I've started to move past it all, as if I can look back at the mistakes of my past as a new man. I no longer identify with the darkest parts of my personal history. I've shed my skin, and really, it's because of you. You have this unique healing effect on me. There's something about you that makes you that way. You're really just not a typical person. You're not an ordinary woman, especially to me. Not just another pretty face or another perfect freckle, cute dimple. smooth nipple. You have something inside of you, something that's beautiful and makes you special. It seems that no matter what, you always make sure to stay kind, even to those who may not have deserved it at first, like myself. Your aura shines brighter, burns hotter than anyone I've ever known. I love how fierce you can be when you stand up for what you believe in, and how passionate you can be when dealt with the unfaltering tenacity of injustice that plagues this world. No, you definitely are not like the others, and you deserve better. You deserve the best. I really do want to apologize to you. It's not fair that I made you worry. It's not fair that I put you through that kind of fear. You know, I never purposely want to make you upset. I'm sorry. Are you okay? I'm glad you feel better. I'm glad I feel better. I'm glad we both get to feel better together. And I think we could both use some rest. I'll see you in the morning. Good night. Hey, it's me, Manny. I'm glad you watched all the way to the end. You're a true fan. You can find the extended version of this audio on my Patreon, where things get a little spicy in the hospital room, if that excites you. The link is in the description. In this video, we talked a lot about kindness and its ability to heal. I think it's important to spread genuine kindness at least once per day. It could be as simple as holding the door open for someone, expressing gratitude to a friend, or even giving a stranger a smile. It might be the only love that they receive that day. If everyone did one kind thing for someone else every day and paid it forward whenever a kind act was gifted upon them, the ripple effect would be massive. You could start by dropping a like on the video and subscribing to the channel. It'll support my dream of becoming a full-time content creator. Thank you, and take care, okay?